So here's my S35 set up with the Aura. It's connected and we've got live data going through the radio. Here's the setup tab, so you can see my channel ordering. You can see the Aura inputs. For some reason here the left stick's not in the center of that. But I think it's just because I'm so close to the receiver with the radio. But anyway, you're getting live data there. You can see the values change. And that's the bottom of the page. The next setup is safety. That's default. That's not turned on. That's the mix. So mix number 1, you can see with all 3 flight modes. Mix number 2 and mix number 3. And here we go into our control mode. So that is gyro off. And there's all our settings. This is mode 2. And this is the secondary control page. And this is mode D, the primary page. See the live data coming through, and this is the secondary page. Now we go into our flight modes. So our first flight mode is gyro off. Our second flight mode is low rates. You can see moving the sticks around on the radio. That's lower down on the page, and then we go to flight mode 3, which is full thrust vectoring. There are all the settings for mode 3. Now we go to servo port. This is servo port 1, aileron out on the left. There's 2, which is aileron out on the right. Understand how all that works. This one here is elevator left. Now you can see it's got a mix with the thrust vectoring. Servo 4, which is your elevator right. Servo port 5, which is rudder, which is basically the thrust nozzle moving left to right. Nose wheel, which I'm not using, nothing's plugged into that port, but that's it anyway. Number 7, which is your left thrust vectoring nozzle, and number 8, which is your right thrust vectoring nozzle. And there are all the settings there. Here we have a look at the Aura config tool, which is 1123.1. We go back here, we look at our wing type. Shows you what our wing type is there. And when I change that to ailerons to flapperons, just changes all of that. And basic. So here's my SU35 setup. It's a complete clean model. The only thing I've got is gear up and gear down on that switch, and I've got flight modes on that switch. So if you have a look in the inputs, I've got throttle, channel 1. I've got ailerons, channel 2, elevator, channel 3, rudders on channel 4. I've got the gear switch on
gear up. Radio battery is low. Gear down.
Channel 5, and I've got that switch on channel 6, which is, I've got flight modes on channel 6. So here's my S35. We've got the X8R, and it's plugged straight in the Aura via S-Bus. I've got a ESC just plugged in to power it up to test it. I've got the gear up and down switch plugged into it. I've got the 2 rudders at the back of the plane plugged into it, and wide into one of the rudders is the nose wheel steering. So in the Aura itself, I've got I've got the 2 ailerons, I've got the 2 elevators, I've got the 2 nozzles, and I've got the nozzle yaw as a rudder. So the 2 rudders here, straight into the receiver. Each nozzle, up and down, is the thrust vectoring nozzle, which coincides with the elevators. And it's got one single servo here that yaws the 2 nozzles around. I've got that set up as a rudder.